Reacher just walked into a trap that could get someone he cares about killed. And this time there's no clever way out. A knife pressed against Jacob's throat, two of the most ruthless killers on the show standing in front of him, and one impossible choice staring him down. This is Reacher Season 4, Episode 5. And the ending left fans completely stunned. For weeks now, this season has been building toward one burning question. What is actually on that flash drive, and why are people willing to die to protect it or steal it? This episode finally started peeling back the layers, and what it revealed was far bigger and far darker than anyone expected. Let's rewind for a second, because everything that happens in this episode traces back to one decision Anna made before she died. Everyone assumed she handed the flash drive over to Lyther, the woman she trusted, the woman who turned out to be working against her the entire time. But that assumption was wrong. Anna never trusted Lyther. Not really. In her final moments, she turned to the one person she believed would protect it no matter what, her own brother Jacob. She placed her phone and that flash drive directly into his hands, along with a secret that could unravel a presidential campaign. And that secret is a photograph. A faded, decades-old image from the 1990s, showing three men standing together. A congressman on the rise, a powerful general, and a scientist nobody seems to remember. On the surface it looks like nothing. Just an old photo buried in a folder. But someone out there is willing to kill again and again to make sure that photo never sees the light of day. When Reacher finally gets his hands on it, he's baffled. He can't understand why a single image from 30 years ago would be worth this much blood. The congressman in the photo refuses to explain anything, repeating the same three words over and over. I don't know. And the other man in the picture, the general, is already dead. That leaves only one lead. One person left standing who might actually know the truth. A scientist barely visible in the background of the photo, out of focus, almost forgotten until now. While Reacher is chasing down answers, the walls are closing in around him in a completely different way. He's now a wanted man, plastered across every news channel in the country, accused of murders he didn't commit, and an assault on a federal agent that painted him as dangerous and unpredictable. Every screen he passes shows his face. Every phone camera becomes a threat. For a man who's spent his entire life staying invisible, moving from town to town with nothing but a toothbrush and a plan, suddenly being the most recognizable face in America is its own kind of nightmare. So this episode isn't just about chasing down a mystery anymore. It's about survival. Reacher and Tamara are forced underground, literally hiding beneath a bridge to avoid the police swarming the city looking for them. And that title, bridge, carries a double meaning that becomes painfully clear by the end. It's not just about where they hide. It's about the man in the background of that photograph, the scientist who might be the only bridge left between them and the truth. The one person who can explain why this image is worth more than anyone's life. But getting to him means running a gauntlet first. Because Lyther and Amisha aren't just chasing a flash drive anymore. They're chasing revenge, control, and a secret they'll do absolutely anything to protect. And by the end of this episode, they prove just how far that's willing to go, using the one person Reacher and Tamara have come to care about as leverage against them. What happens next changes everything. So let's break down exactly what happened in this episode, what that gut punch ending really means, and why this might be the moment Reacher has to make the hardest choice of the entire season. The scene that changes everything unfolds inside an abandoned restaurant, the exact address Anna had once been given as a meeting point before her life was cut short. Reacher and Tamara make their way there, betting everything on a hunch that if Lyther and Amisha were still searching for that flash drive, this forgotten, dust-covered building was where the trail would lead. And they're right. But what they find first isn't the confrontation they expected. It's a crime scene. The remains of what happened to Ben, the man Anna loved, the man she was willing to break every rule to protect. Reacher studies the scene with the eyes of someone who has seen far too many of these moments in his life, and he pieces together the truth almost instantly. Ben didn't die because time ran out. He died because he almost made it. He had broken free of his restraints. He had gotten within reach of the door. He was so close to walking out of that building alive that it makes the moment even more devastating. He was killed just steps from freedom, and that single detail changes the entire emotional weight of everything that follows. Because once Anna realized Ben was gone, she stopped playing along. She had no more reason to protect that flash drive by handing it over. Her plan shifted from survival to something colder. She wanted them dead. And now, standing in the very room where that plan was supposed to unfold, Reacher finally comes face to face with the woman who orchestrated all of it. Lyther steps out from the shadows, calm, composed, completely unbothered by the fact that she's staring down a man twice her size with every reason in the world to want her dead. She doesn't raise a weapon. She doesn't need to. She simply tells him what she wants. The flash drive. Nothing more. For a brief moment it almost feels like Reacher has the upper hand. He's the one with the physical advantage. He's the one who could end this right here, right now, without hesitation. It's the classic mismatch. A woman without a weapon standing in front of a man who has taken down opponents twice her size with his bare hands. But that momentary advantage disappears the second Amisha steps into view. Because Amisha isn't holding a weapon aimed at Reacher. She's holding something far more effective. Someone. Jacob. Restrained, terrified, a blade pressed dangerously close to him. The same kind of blade that has already claimed multiple lives this season. In an instant, the entire dynamic of the standoff flips. This was never supposed to happen. Jacob wasn't meant to be anywhere near this building. He was told to stay back, to wait, to let the people who actually know how to handle situations like this take the lead. But he didn't listen, and that decision, made out of guilt, grief, and a desperate need to prove himself useful, has now put his life directly in the hands of two people who have shown zero hesitation when it comes to killing. And you can see it written all over Reacher's face in that final moment. Not fear exactly, but frustration. A flicker of helplessness that we rarely get to see from him. Because if Jacob had simply followed orders, this entire confrontation would have played out differently. Reacher would have had the leverage. He would have been the one asking the questions, the one in control. Instead, he's forced to freeze, to recalculate, to figure out how to save a life that shouldn't even be at risk in the first place. What makes this moment hit even harder is everything we've watched build between Tamara and Jacob over the course of the season. This isn't just some side character caught in the crossfire. Tamara has grown to genuinely care about him. We saw it in the small moments, the way he remembered exactly how she takes her coffee, the way she sat with him outside after he read those messages, the quiet instant where she took his hand and told him she knew he wasn't someone capable of causing Rael pain, even with vengeance clouding his judgment. That connection makes this standoff feel personal in a way that goes beyond the mission, beyond the flash drive, beyond the mystery of the photograph itself. Because now Reacher isn't just weighing a tactical decision. He's weighing a life. A soldier's instinct would tell him that the wider consequences of that flash drive falling into the wrong hands outweigh the life of one man who couldn't follow simple instructions. But Reacher has never been purely a soldier. He's human, and that humanity has defined every decision he's made this season. Which raises the terrifying possibility that he might actually hand over the one piece of evidence that could expose a conspiracy reaching all the way to a presidential campaign, just to save Jacob's life. And given how ruthless Lyther and Amisha have proven themselves to be, killing a man in broad daylight just to steal his car keys, there's a very real chance that handing over the flash drive won't be enough to save him anyway. That final shot, Reacher standing frozen, caught between everything he believes in and the one person he can't afford to lose, is exactly why this episode hits harder than almost anything else this season. There's no clean way out of this. No clever trick, no last-second escape route. No gun hidden up his sleeve. Just an impossible choice between protecting a secret that could bring down a man running for the highest office in the country, and protecting a life that never should have been on the line in the first place. And that's what makes this version of Reacher so different from anything we've seen before. He's not invincible here. He's not always 3 steps ahead. For the first time in a long time, he's genuinely stuck, and that vulnerability is what makes this ending land with so much weight. Think about everything that led to this single moment. A photograph from decades ago, buried, forgotten, dismissed as nothing more than an old picture of 3 men standing together. Yet that photograph has already cost multiple lives. It cost Ben his life just steps away from freedom. It cost countless others theirs, caught in the crossfire of 2 killers who show no hesitation and no mercy. And now it's threatening to cost Jacob his. All because of a secret buried in the background of an out-of-focus image, a scientist nobody remembers, connected to a general who committed atrocities against his own people, connected to a congressman who may be hiding far more than a simple case of forgetfulness. The deeper this goes, the clearer it becomes that this isn't just about one photograph anymore. It's about power, cover-ups, and exactly how far people at the very top will go to protect their own future, even if that means burying the truth under a pile of bodies. What's remarkable is how this episode manages to balance all of that tension with genuine emotional weight. This isn't just about explosive chases and brutal fight scenes, even though there's plenty of that. From a desperate escape across rooftops to a bone-chilling moment involving a federal agent that will make your stomach turn. It's about watching characters we've grown to care about get pushed to their absolute limits. It's about Tamara's fear for Jacob, a fear that goes beyond duty and straight into something personal. It's about Reacher's internal war between the mission and his own humanity. And it's about a season that started slow, that took its time laying the groundwork, finally paying off every single piece of setup in one gut-punching, high-stakes confrontation. So where does this leave us heading into the next episode? Does Reacher actually hand over the flash drive to save Jacob's life, knowing full well it could mean handing a dangerous secret straight into the hands of people who will use it to protect a man running for president? Or does he find some way to outsmart two people who have proven time and time again that they are willing to kill without hesitation? And what happens to Jacob if things go wrong? Given everything we've seen from Lyther and Amisha this season, nothing is off the table. Not even the death of a character we've spent this entire season watching grow and struggle, and try to prove himself worthy of trust. One thing is certain. This season of Reacher has fully found its footing. What started as a slower burn has transformed into one of the most intense, emotionally charged stretches of episodes the show has ever delivered. And with the mystery of that photograph finally starting to unravel, revealing connections to war crimes, political ambition, and a cover-up that stretches back decades, it feels like we are only scratching the surface of something much bigger. So that's everything you need to know about this explosive episode, and where things could be headed next. If this breakdown helped make sense of everything that just happened, do us a favor and hit that like button. It genuinely helps this channel grow. And if you want to make sure you never miss a breakdown the moment a new episode drops, go ahead and hit subscribe right now. We'll be covering every single episode this season, all the way through to the finale. Now we want to hear from you. Do you think Reacher hands over that flash drive to save Jacob? Or do you think he finds another way out? Drop your predictions in the comments below. We read every single one. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next breakdown.